Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. It's so good to be before you again. We are all blessed by the best. Yes, we are. All right, go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. I am getting ready to get out of here. We had a good time trading this morning, and we'll talk about that a little later. Let's just get into a few things. We're going to go into some things right quick, should I say. Now, let's talk about one of the stock that are falling, okay? Costco is all of the talk. I'm not going to cover Costco right now, but I'm going to cover Palantir, just mentioning what it is. And I know in some of the comments, you guys, I know some of you guys hate that stock. It's a war stock. I get it. But for the ones that have it, or, mainly for the ones that have it, I'm just going to go right into this and let's see what happened as Palantir continued a 2-day slide. Okay. Palantir stock is down significantly, dropping over 7% on Thursday and continued to slide due to fears of intensified AI competition from Anthropic, a high valuation that demands perfection. Okay. Same thing like NVIDIA. This is NVIDIA all over again. And bearish comments from Michael Burry. Michael Burry was the one that really brought Palantir down, suggesting that Palantir is losing market share. Michael Burry, all right? So you guys know he's from the Big Short. The movie The Big Short was all about that situation with Michael Burry. Okay, smart guy, very wealthy guy, very smart guy. But same thing was said about NVIDIA and its market share. You know, something that had a moat around it, just like Palantir kind of had a little moat around it. It was a fan favorite, and I have a lot of Palantir, and giving up that percentage was not good. But here's what happened right behind that, which is very, very interesting. On the same day, today, this is today. This was published April 10th, 2026, 9:05 a.m. Trump signals out Palantir's war-fighting capabilities in post. Now, isn't that just kind of strange that it has a short job on it and then the president comes and posts about it on the very same day? President Donald Trump signaled out Palantir Technologies for its great war fighting capabilities and equipment in a Truth Social post on Friday. Just ask the enemies, Trump said in the post. And so this is mainly for the people that have Palantir. This is not for the people that don't like it or, even looking for entry. These are for those of us that have it. Now, I have Palantir, and I've had Palantir since 2020. I've had Palantir. And the truth be told, I grabbed some when it was a talk and didn't even do a deep dive at that time in 2020. I'm just keeping it real. We were getting Palantir at $10 and $7. I'm going to keep my Palantir as long as this president is in office. I said that this morning before the tweet. I'm going to keep my Palantir as long as the president is in office. That's what I'm going to say. And do I believe Palantir can make it back up to 200? Yes, I believe that Palantir can grow legs and start walking again, just like I think that NVIDIA can grow legs and start walking again. Here I have the traffic trader looking here, and you could see that we began to fall off. We were down more than 3% this morning. Okay, I don't know how much we were down, but we were down. And then president's comment right here, boom, spikes back up. You see that? And it was just triggered. And I just thought that it could be coming back up. Now, what you're looking at is the traffic trader, and you have the 9 EMA, the 20 EMA, and the 50 EMA. And as you could see, it's starting to actually form its way to looking like it could be a buy. So I didn't do a deep dive on it. I'm just saying that I'm long on Palantir. And when I say long, I mean years. So I'm not telling you to buy. And yes, could it have more downward pressure? Yes, it can. But I'm just letting you guys know where I am with it. Sorry I didn't do a deep dive, but I just thought a lot of people had it, so I wanted to address it. So be on the lookout for other influencers that do some deep charting and tell you where a good buy range is. I'm just saying that I'm holding it. All right. You let me know what you're going to do with your Palantir. Let's see what else is going on. You can see here the S&P 500 tick lower on Friday, which is today, but benchmark still on pace for big weekly gains after fragile Iran ceasefire live update. Okay, good. Guys, I didn't even show you that. There it is. Don't have time to re-edit this. S&P 500 ticks lower Friday, but benchmark still on pace for big weekly gains after fragile Iran ceasefire. That's the live update. All right, good people. So there's something in me that want to say something extremely controversial, but at some point, if you continue to talk about politics, and I'm spanking my own hand, it's gonna be it's not gonna be a winning situation. But I'm just gonna get it off of my chest for this weekend. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep. So I want to play this clip first, and I want you guys to listen to the market sentiment from this gentleman. And of course, we had CPI inflation this morning.
Yeah, how you doing, Scott? I mean, I would say that the markets trade in the future, as we like to say, and it's hard for me to imagine that 6 months from now things aren't probably better. Okay, there's always tail risk and things like that, but I mean, markets have a way of looking past the moment, and I think that's what they've been doing now for the last several weeks. We have no idea how this is ultimately going to resolve itself, but I hearken back to 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine and oil prices peaked, and the rate of change on oil is what matters. It's like the rate of change on tariffs last year. So I think the market has discounted a lot of bad news this year, whether it's the private credit concerns, AI disruption on labor markets. And I think there is still one final hurdle we got to get past, which is this transition at the Fed and this pivot, back away from inflation to maybe growth concerns, or at least, being willing to support markets if they need to be.
There are some who would counter and say you need still a much larger move lower in both oil and yields to get, I think, more of a credible, the coast is clear. Do you support that view?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. But the problem is by the time it's that definitive, you've probably missed the opportunity. So that's why you got to sort of pivot yourself into that. And look, we look at a lot of things, Scott, like you do and your viewers do and your other guests. I mean, you have to take into account sentiment, positioning, valuation, and the technicals. And we got to a point in the last couple of weeks where it felt like that was kind of it. And yeah, maybe we might go lower here or there, but the idea of putting capital to work is not to call the exact day, but to call when it's good risk reward.
So let's just take a quick look at the cues. Here we have the traffic trader. You could come and join us this weekend by clicking the link below that says Money Moves in the description. So we saw that the SPY was full of chop, okay? This is full of chop. So what I teach is in options, we don't trade this when it's a snake. We don't trade this when there's no clear signal above or below the 9 EMA, okay? We just don't trade it because it's full of fake outs. But with the Qs, we had a signal to make money going up and to make money going down. These are the levels that I give before the market opens. And as you could see, that as long as these candles were beneath this line, which is the 9 EMA, this is just like a street, right? Fast traffic is in the left lane. Slow traffic is in the right lane. Slow traffic means we're going down. Fast traffic means we're going up. And we were able to, people are like printing put money right here, okay? And so if you have been losing money on options, you've been in options and you've been in other classes or other Patreons or Discords, I just did a 2-hour live yesterday on what to do to stop losing money with options. So come and join us. Click the link below, Money Moves, and come get this money, all right? Guys, I'm going to be going to, I'll be in Hampton, Virginia Sunday. I'm going to be speaking at a church in Hampton, Virginia. I'm sorry I don't have the flyer, but I will be at the Harvest Church of Hampton. Harvest Church of Hampton with my good friend, Pastor Charles Robinson. That's this gentleman right here, and my sister Yasmin Robinson. So the address is right here, 1015 East Littleback River Road, Hampton, Virginia. There's the number right there, 757-848-1152. That is the Harvest Church of Hampton. I will be there in Hampton, Virginia on Sunday. Now, I'm not doing any financial speaking. That's why I haven't really talked about it. I will actually be talking about church growth. But if you're in the area, come by and say hello and check out. It's a really nice church. The people there are really nice, and they'll be glad to see you, and so will I, okay? That'll be Sunday morning service. Just call the number or go onto their website, and I'll be there Sunday, okay? So I'm about to run out and jump on a plane right now. I'm not going to say anything political right now because it's a no-win situation. You got people on this side, people on this side. Pray for peace for everywhere, and we'll go from there, okay, guys? Let's just have a good weekend. Let's pray for the astronauts that are entering back into the atmosphere, which is the most dangerous part of the mission. If it hasn't happened yet, I've been so busy. And let's pray for each other. As a matter of fact, let's pray for someone that don't think like us, that didn't vote like us, or don't look like us. Let's pray for each other. Let's come together as a country, and let's be one, okay? Love you guys. Live, love, laugh, and learn.